This is Flo Rogan, and this is The Art of Rhyming, episode 41. Today we got a special guest, Griot Noy from Charlotte, North Carolina. Last year, his Steelfly album, produced by Sean Lynx, was my number one spun album out of any guest I've interviewed, and I was highly awaiting his next drop, and here it is, the GoldN Laws of Attraction, produced by GoldN Arms. I think this is his first time working with GoldN Arms, and I'm about to invite them both on the live standby. How's everyone doing tonight? Both are invited.
Peace, God. Salute.
Peace. How are you, GoldN Arms?
Good, man. I'm doing good.
Thanks for joining, man.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me, bro. I appreciate it.
Of course, man. Of course. I'm always here to push, represent good music, man. And I only listen to the guests I interview for the most part, and I've been really enjoying the new album, man. So thank you.
Appreciate that. Hell yeah.
How you been, Griot? It's been a minute, man. I think we spoke last in September. It feels like a longer time, but
yeah, it do feel like a while.
Yeah, man. How have you been?
Decent for the most part, bouncing around, getting my feet set and all that.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. So I know that you recently finished university or college. Is that right? Like,
yeah,
because you graduated last year. Is that right?
Yeah, most definitely. So I was still in that process during the last time we spoke.
Yeah. Are you happy to get that behind you? Are you 2 feet in with the music now, or
for the most part?
What's the outlook?
Yeah, I'm not like, I hate school. I'll be real, I hate school. So it was a struggle at that time,
Right.
But finally had that weight off me. It was very useful for my creativity. But I'm not all the way in yet, just because the funds, sometimes need the funds to do the music. So I'm on the way though.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's smart to have income while you're pursuing music.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I see you posting those electrician clips, if I got it right, man. So you're out there hustling, from what I see. So that's
yeah, most definitely.
Dope, man. So I interviewed OG Black a couple months ago, also from North Carolina. Really dope. Since I have another North Carolina artist on, I thought I'd ask you how you felt about the big three beef and J. Cole bowing out. Like, do you have any way you feel about that? Or
I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty disappointed. Yeah, it made me want to diss him, but I won't go and do all that.
Got it. Yeah, man. I'm not mad at him. Whatever, man. It's his choice. But I just thought I'd ask, since you are from NC, right? So GoldN Arms, are you from Phoenix? Did I get that right?
Yep.
Nice. I've been actually building with a few underground Phoenix artists. I don't know if you know them, Maze Overlay.
Okay.
And who's the other dude? Unorthodox? Do you know Unorthodox?
I'm homies with Unorthodox, man.
Nice.
Yeah, we're working on some stuff too right now, some crazy stuff. Yeah, great rapper, man, great dude. He's doing a writer's block on the 13th. I got invited to, man. So
nice.
It'll be a dope event for Phoenix, man. That's gonna be tight.
Nice. You know what? I went looking through your Spotify, and I think I tried to look you up on Bandcamp. I couldn't find any other projects. Is this like your first big project?
Yeah.
The GoldN Laws of Attraction.
I have been dropping like a couple beat tapes here and there, like on my Bandcamp. Real low budget type of stuff with little AI artwork and shit like that.
Right.
Just dropping beats, man, just trying to release some stuff. But other than that, man, I kind of be real reclusive with my work. And really, right now I've been building with my people in Phoenix. But lately I've been also reaching out to folks like, Griot. I had caught him on a Sunday school. He had dropped his email on his story, and then I went a couple beats. He was fucking with it, and then we built from there, which was dope, man. So Grill really one of the first people I've hit the finish line with on a project.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and the way it came out, man, was beautiful.
How does it feel for your first project to be with a dude of this talent, man, an MC of this
Man,
talent?
like the standard that's been set forth for me is like, you know what I mean, really high. You know what I mean? It's beautiful to see my, you know what I mean, like my work put in these kind of spaces. You know what I mean? Like Grill's writing is ridiculous, man. Like, you know, bumping this album front to back like multiple times, man. I
Yeah.
just be listening to it. He pans out, and it's like it's so intricate, and he really, you know, has good diction and stuff like that. So to match that on the beats that, you know what I mean, that I sent him is crazy to see, and definitely gonna open up some real doors for me, man. So
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Well, I only discovered him late last year, and that Steel Fly was my #1 most played album. Again, of any guest I interviewed. So I agree with you that shit was fire, man. So yeah. So some more, just to go through some updates on your end, Griot. I saw that you dropped an EP, Technicolor Easel. If I
Mm-hmm.
got it right, that was produced by Haggett Corey. Is
Yeah,
that I say right?
Yeah, he's French, so sometimes I mispronounce it as well.
Right,
So, but I think he agreed with Hagakori.
right. Got it. And that one dropped before the GoldN Laws of Attraction, the album that brought us here. I noticed that it was only on Spotify. I didn't really see too much promotion on it. Was there any rationale or strategy behind that?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's my Spotify crowd has been something I've been looking to really improve. And he reached out and said he wanted to do it like an EP, maybe 5 songs, and he
Yeah,
had a much bigger Spotify crowd. And I was looking to maybe expand more overseas. So there was a lot of his base is primarily Spotify.
right.
So because he's kind of associated with a French label, I believe.
Nice.
So they had a lot of their promotion going on Spotify with it for the most part, kind of balance out my Apple Music crowd.
Dope. I gave it a few spins. I thought it was a dope little collection. Um, I also saw that you landed on Machacha's album Kunst Art.
Mm.
Where's Machacha from again? He's from Holland, is it? Do you
I
know?
wanna
I think he's from Holland.
I wanna say he's from Copenhagen.
That would make sense.
I wanna say he's from
Copenhagen
Copenhagen.
crates.
Yeah,
Right.
because they press a lot of his stuff, and I think their partnership is pretty tight. So I want to say he is from Copenhagen.
Right. Just want to shout out some people joining here. K45, he's a feature on your album.
Yeah,
Dope
Kai.
verse.
That shit
Kai
was
45.
ill. Yeah, that shit was ill.
Gotcha. Sice Greeny. Thank you everyone for joining. OG Black. So yeah. So lot of heavy hitters on that project, obviously, from Underground Fairs, Blusa, Vega 7, Sean Lynx. By the way, before this interview, I just listened to Champion Killer, Sean Lynx, front to back, his
Oh
new
yeah,
mixtape.
yeah,
That shit is crazy, man. I don't
yeah.
know if you checked it out yet, but
No, he's
that
a
shit is
dog.
crazy.
No,
Yeah,
I definitely played it.
yeah. So SD was on it. Daniel Son, Maze Overlay, Josiah the Gift, Supreme Cerebral. I feel like that's where you belong, so to speak. You know what I mean? At this point, how did it feel to land on a project with these level of underground artists?
I mean, it felt good, to be honest. You know, sometimes it could be confusing working with larger producers because I would argue I'm the smallest person on that project. So when I laid my verse, you know, there was no like, it was just like, yo, you want to lay a verse on a project, and I laid it. I didn't know who it was with. I didn't know who else was on the project. I didn't hear anything until, you know, it came out.
Right,
So after I see all the names in his first promo, it was like, yo, I didn't know all the people was gonna be on it. Just opportunity, I guess, you know, hoping that one of those people, they play through the album and they say, who is this?
yeah,
So, but it's nice. It's nice to be heard alongside those people and not be set aside as someone that made the sound fall off, but someone who kept up with it.
right. So he just sent you the beat. There was no other vocals on it, no theme. You just laid a verse and that was it, type of thing.
Well, the verse was on there, but I just did what I did. I didn't really ask any questions. He said it's 16. I was like, yeah, I'll do. You know, I think the beat technically was what I had was less than 16. Really, originally, I think I rapped past the beat.
Right.
And when I sent it back, he edited it.
Got it. Yeah, I'm interviewing a couple artists that are dropping their first Machacha produced album. Shoddy is coming up. You probably know him from my show. I've talked to him a lot from Miami, and also next week Andre DeSaint. He's got a Machacha produced album. He's a sick producer. I feel like it's definitely a milestone. You know what I mean? In the underground, just to be associated with him. So that's dope. Yeah. So I also noticed, just getting updated on what you've been doing. You're on Javi Darko's Death of an Immortal. Honestly, it's looking a lot like last year. That's by far one of my favorite albums this year
Yeah.
of any artist I interviewed. I mean, Javi's on another level of artistry, in my opinion. And your album is right up there too. So it's looking a lot like last year so far. You know what I mean? So in terms of my top albums, what artists they're coming from. So yeah. So I noticed that you have a verse on the track. What was the track called again?
Dwellings of the Philosophers.
Yeah. So, and I've been following you guys closely. Again, for anyone just tuning into my show, like, I think these guys are all, I'll say respectfully, young phenoms. In my mind, I would love to think they're the future of hip hop. So check them all out. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So just moving along here. Bear with me here. If I'm not mistaken, I was going through some of your comments, and I'm from Toronto. I saw you building with Gritfall in the comments. Is that right? Are you guys anything in the works, or are you guys just exchanging pleasantries? Or
I hope so. Honestly, he had just followed me earlier this week because I posted a story and I tagged him. But I'm more of a fan. We've never exchanged dialogue before. I've exchanged dialogue with Raz Fresco before.
Oh, nice.
But not as on like a project, more so just as a fan. You know, I'm a fan of the crowd before anything. So I I posted a Gritfall song earlier, and I think he appreciated that, and he liked the cover art. I was advertising GoldN Laws. He liked it and gave me a follow. So hopefully in the future soon, most definitely.
Cover art was dope. Who put that together for you?
Oh, that's my guy Nate. Yeah, so that's Nate. So he's based in Chicago. I've been wanting to get some work in with him for a very, very long time, and he kind of been putting in my ear too. And I wanted it to be the right project though. So with GoldN Arms, we put together this crazy shit, and I was like, yo, this sound like art. I want a real artist to do it.
Yeah. So, you know, I remember talking to you in the DMs, and you told me your next album was going to be produced by Holy Smokes, right? And there's a little switch up. So I thought I'd ask you what happened.
Oh, that's definitely still in the works. I'm working on a lot of joints right now. So really what ended up happening is he had a little bit of computer situation where he couldn't get anything off. He couldn't get any beats going. He had to switch over. And then he had to adjust to it because he went from PC to Mac.
Right.
So he had to like redefine his sound. But GoldN Arms he was just loading me with joints. He was loading me. And he was loading me with so much heat. I wanted to write to. But it was like, I can't. I always want to write, so I'm gonna write. And then all of a sudden, we got 10 songs.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So like, well.
Did you produce specifically for him GoldN Arms, or did you just gave him what you had type of thing, or how did that work out?
I have probably 300 beats in the vault right now that are just locked and loaded and ready to go type of thing.
Right.
And I was building with the homie Dom Sport Wavy Living, and I was originally building with him on getting a project with him out. And but my man, he's one of the hardest working individuals, man. He does all his videos, and he's been on the production lately, writing. So he's got these projects he had been building before I had hit him up. So he let me know, like, yo, like, these beats is fire. However, you know, I mean, it's gonna be a long time before, you know what I mean, we ever get to work on anything at the moment. So I don't want to let these beats go to waste. So I was like, okay, cool. So I pivoted, and I started sending Griot stuff because Griot's another one of those crazy, you know what I mean, like crazy writers, man, and already having sending him some stuff for his Sunday school. I was like, all right, cool. Let me send him some beats off of this tape I was gonna make with Wavy, and then build off of that. So I had started sending him some real soulful stuff, and he was fucking with it. And yeah, after he told me, I mean, he was gonna start writing to some stuff. I just started flooding him with his email, man, with beats, and I was getting same day shipping back on verses, man. It was
Wow.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
the you know what I mean, on that three strikes joint, he said something about he had his pen versed out before he even left work, and that's
Yeah.
fact. Like that fool was sending me shit back same day, like crazy
That's
workflow.
when you know you're dealing with the real MC, I would say.
Yeah,
You know?
no
Yeah,
doubt.
man. Have you like the engineering is really good in this project? I think it's worth noting because sometimes I listen to music, it's really good, but the engineering could be subpar. Have Golden Arms, have you ever heard your shit sound this good? Like who engineered
You know,
this
like
project?
so I did a good brunt of the mixing. This is like really my first tape, really getting into my mixing bag, just because
Nice.
of like, you know, what I mean, I respect what Grill was sending me back so much, where it's like, okay, I need to make this shit sound right and as good as I can possibly make it sound, you know. And
Hmm.
so I started learning tricks, and I already had a bunch of tools. It was just a matter of time of me, you know, what I mean, getting cracking on the mixing aspect of my music. And Griot shit was the first stuff I really got to tap in with, mixing out vocals and drums and layering everything together.
Wow.
And then the last week or so, I had hit up my buddy Alex Apex. He's an engineer, and you know, I went over to his crib with the tracks, and we just kind of mastered everything out so that way the overall sound, you know what I mean, was refined. So that way it's not like you jump from one track to the other and the volume is
Yeah.
like spiked up, or the vocals, or you know what I mean, like.
I listened to a project like that recently where it's like the next track starts at like crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so me and Alex Apex really locked in on hitting the consistency throughout the tracks, but the overall mixing and everything was already completed by me. So he just kind of refined the joint and really kind of pushed it to the next level with the finer details and stuff like that.
That's dope. So the trust you guys established, I think it's a big deal, man. Your first time working together, and you know, Griot's had a big project last year, so that's dope that you guys, you know what I mean, leveled up together. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so again, that for those tuning in, the project is called the GoldN Laws of Attraction. If it's cool with you, Griot, I'm gonna quote how you described the album in your IG post.
Mhm.
Um, I'm going to say a lot here. So, and then I'm going to ask you to explain more. So, this project is a manifestation of my current understanding of the laws of attraction and proper usage of build and destroy. When one builds positively, he can attract all that he needs with the powers of magnetism as a result of his knowledge. On the flip side, if you build negatively, you can attract things that will ultimately destroy what you're trying to build. It can also be harmful to keep negative builders in your immediate circle while in that state. You can't save the world until you save yourself. With that being said, let this be a blueprint to those looking to get out of that negative cipher. So, wanted to ask you guys, in your words now, you know, what's behind the name GoldN Laws of Attraction? Is there anything to add to that, or
Well, I would say the easy part is to say I wanted to incorporate Griot Arms name in the title, get him extra love, and it also was just, you know, that being the concept. I think we developed the concept before we had a song. The only song we had on the album before the concept was "Mom, This Nigga Said He Allah." That was the only
mm,
one before the
dope,
project.
dope tune?
Yeah, so then we developed it. And that was just how I was feeling, I guess. The name, I was thinking of names. I always try to think of names before I start writing. And the laws of attraction was on my mind as I've been going into the process of doing my lessons as a 5%er. Uh,
Yeah,
so I've been restarting lessons. I've been going to like civilization classes, um,
right.
building with older guys in Charlotte, and they're telling me, you know, Black history and 5% history. I'm taking notes in my notebook, and it just redefines some of my understanding of how certain things work just within the universe.
Right.
So that's where a lot of my brain been at recently, the laws of attraction. 'Cause I do believe, I don't really believe in luck or like coincidence like that. More so, everything happened how it was supposed to, or how you caused it to.
Right. Right.
So it just highlights a lot of situations and friendships, relationships, and circumstances that end up how they ended up because of what you attracted from how you live your life.
And the thing is, like, you really get into this stuff, whether you're talking about, like, relationships with your friends, with your exes and stuff like that. Not a lot of MCs can get into these nuances. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, you're beyond punchline rapping. You're a poet. I mean, you showcase that on your other projects, and you continue to do it here, man. So, to me, that's the highest level of rhyming, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? You're just talking your talk, describing the world around you, and it's coming out dope. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I appreciate it.
Um, I think on the project, you might have mentioned working your way out of a depression. Like, did you do a lot of reading on these materials or studying to get yourself out of depression? Or let me know if I misheard you. But
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, there's always some of that process. A lot of that process is, like you brought up earlier, me finishing school. Now, after I had got on toward the back end of finishing to get my degree, I had a certain period that I didn't get to express on Still Fly because I was focused on other topics on Still Fly. But on his, Golden Arms sending me all these soulful joints, it's really like pure, what's left is pure expression is all you really can give it. So I wanted to express things I felt during that period. And I did. I had that phase where I was like, because I don't know, I was running track. I was a Division I athlete.
right,
But I
yeah,
don't,
you told me.
yeah, but I don't like school. So, but you got to have a certain level of school and be passing to be able to stay on the team. So it was for a little period I wanted to be pro. I changed schools, a whole bunch of stuff went down. It was like I started falling out of love with it, getting injuries, and so it was like, okay, I don't need to be eligible to run anymore. If I'm not gonna run track anymore, then what am I in school for? And it ended up just having to divide my attention because music is what I love. So having to have other priorities, my family wanted me to finish school. My friend telling me to finish. Yo, just finish. You got 2 semesters left,
Yeah.
and it feel like eternities. So it got me like stuck in my head. But so that's the main thing. Once that cleared up, I felt comfortable expressing it. After I graduated, I felt comfortable just expressing all that stuff, through music when he started sending me beats.
So this project is a culmination of all that. Is that
Oh
a fair
yeah,
statement?
yeah.
Yeah, it's deep, man. It's deep for sure. Um, so you mentioned in the description, you have songs about this, how to spot a negative builder in your cipher. Track one, Almighty Pull, you speak to this. I think you talk about cutting off a homie that's not really adding to your life or something like that. How hard is it to do that? Did you really have to do that a few times in your life, or?
Man, it's extremely hard because I was just speaking to somebody about this yesterday. Shout out Smooth Don. I don't know if he in here, but I was speaking to him about this yesterday. He's a rapper from Virginia, and he had sent me a part of that song, a part of the skit, and we was talking about it, and I was like, it's hard to do. Everyone gets stuck in that position because of the love, because you can still love somebody. You can love your homie, you can love your friend, you can have a lot of love for somebody, but they can still be hurting you while you have love for them. You know what I'm saying? So the best way to handle it is to be for real, be straight up, be serious. You got to tell them, yo, I really got love for you and I want to be around you, but this shit is like hurting me. You're leading me in the wrong direction. You're bringing bad shit around me.
Yeah.
Almost in the same way. If you maybe you just got out of jail, right? Maybe you just got out of jail, and it's funny because as a 5%er, I've been building with a lot of people who are freshly out of prison. To be honest, like my main teacher, he did 22 years and he got out 2 years ago. So
Wow.
he tells me a lot of stuff like that. So I'll be in civilization classes with him, And it's like, okay, maybe you get out of some jam like that, and you come out to people who never been in it, and they still trying to move the same, and you trying to change how you live.
Yeah.
So like, dang, I love you though. I known you since I was 6, 5, 4 years old, whatever, and you still trying to do this. But even though I got love for you, I can't be around you no more. You causing harm to my energy and what I'm trying
Yeah.
to accomplish. So, but yeah, it's difficult. It's
Yeah.
difficult, especially sometimes them long time relationships. It'd be hard to cut off them people sometimes. But if they killing you, then you got to do it.
I completely relate. In the last year, I've had to do a lot of house cleaning myself, man. So I completely relate to that sentiment, man. So yeah. By the way, for those tuned in, how's the audio? Is the audio breaking up, or can you guys hear everything okay? Everything's good? Okay, dope. So the GoldN Laws of Attraction, in many ways, it feels like a 180 from Steel Fly, your
Mm-hmm.
last album. A lot more soulful and eclectic, a lot of different sampled beats clashing, but it makes for some great art. Personally, I think it shows your range as an artist. Like, even though I consider it a kind of a 180, it still plays well with your last project, so to speak. It's not so much of a stretch, you know what I mean, in terms of sound. But I want to ask you, were you concerned with how people would receive the change? Because I imagine Steel Fly's your most celebrated work so far.
Yeah, I mean, it was scary. It was a little bit scary at a point, just because it's still people asking me about Steel Fly stuff to this day. Yo, like, when are you gonna do the vinyls and all that type of stuff, and then to go the opposite direction, it was definitely a little bit scary, since Steel Fly was, like we said, this GoldN Arms. He said this his first full
Yeah,
production album came out, and Steel Fly was my first actual album that came out. So, and it got received so well,
yeah,
that it was like, okay, if I want to be consistent and keep doing this, I can't. It's imperative that you show that you can do this again. You could do something
yeah,
else.
yeah,
So to me, the safest thing to do, honestly, is to do the opposite. Don't try to make another Steel Fly. I'm not worried about that at all. I won't try to make it. Sure, Steel Fly 2 might. I'm sure that might come at some point, but it's not my focus right now. It's to show that I could really do this. GoldN Arms stuff is dope. So that's that trust aspect too, is that just knowing that what he's giving me is dope. So even if it's different, it still encompasses the essence of like real hip hop.
yeah.
So people love it.
And I remember I reached out to you like 2 days before it dropped. I'm like, can you send it to me, man? I'd love to hear it. You
Yeah.
sent it to me. You're like, I don't know. I don't think this is going to be your favorite one, you know? So, but I played it a bunch of times. I'm like, damn, this is dope, man. This is a serious piece of art right here. So, salute. Thanks for sending that to me. Um, but and you mentioned your 2021 fans were dying for you to bring the soul back. I saw you make a comment. Would you say this is like the center of your sound? Like, do you know what your home base is, so to speak, sonically, or are you, you're not anchored to anything? You just
I mean, I would say I'm still growing. I'm still collecting my infinity stones right now. That's
yeah,
the term I use. I'm still collecting my infinity stones. Like, I'm
yeah,
sure I'm gonna try to drop some other joints that's like even a sound that nobody has ever heard before. But I guess earlier on, like 2021, I dropped 3 EPs 2021 while I was still in school.
right,
That was like my first actual musical year, and it was a lot of stuff like I'm singing my own hook and stuff like that with no auto tune or real engineer. I'm mixing, mastering myself. I'm stealing beats off YouTube. I'm singing my own hooks, and people like that. I can't sing. You know what I'm saying? But people appreciated that aspect, and a lot of people fell in love with that 2021 stuff.
right,
Um, so Steel Fly kind of was the complete opposite.
yeah.
Um,
Action packed,
yeah,
blue collar, but action packed.
yeah.
That's what
So
I'd
I
say.
gained way more fans than I ever had with Steel Fly, but I also did the small amount of fans I had before Steel Fly. A few of them weren't completely satisfied with it. So I wanted to I feel like this covered both though.
Yeah.
You know, because it got the soul, but it got some hard bars on there too. Like Corner Pocket was one of my favorite joints. That still got that spooky, real rap feel to it and all that.
Yeah. The way you told the line reminds me of like a Nas or something like that. Like you're capable of tapping into a lot of different perspectives, man. So that's why you're one of my favorite MCs, man. I like different angles, different perspectives in my hip hop at this point. Uh, a Nog from Planet Mars saying a no skip album for real, indeed. So some of my favorite tunes, probably my favorite one is No Take Backs. Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Partly because of the beat, that was fucking dope, soulful. And then Shoots and Ladders. I believe they were both about your girl or your ex.
Well, No Takebacks is kind of a compilation of a lot of things. I won't lie, it's about a lot of things, and I underestimated. Originally, I had intended it to kind of be like for the women,
Yeah.
but how I delivered it and how I worded it, I underestimated how the men would really, really, really fuck with that song. That's I've been seeing as the album came out. The men really, really love that song.
Right.
So kind of just some of the focus on No Takebacks is that, you know, we be needed confirmation too, and like, you let me know I'm good and you mess with me, you know, I'm doing this correctly, you know, to maintain confidence, and so you could be my partner in crime, make sure I'm doing things properly. So it was a mix of both things you experience that you don't want to feel again, and how you would want to do it differently moving forward. And then
Got it.
Shoots and Ladders. Shoots and Ladders, I was just going with the beat. When he sent me that joint, it just sounded so crazy. I was like, I kind of was just going with a pen, tip me, finish it up, send it off. That joint was like, it's very what's the word, organic construction on Shoots and Ladders. It was a little bit less thought, more just, yo, this sound crazy,
Right.
and still
Well,
move.
every song I've heard where you talk about your ex or whatever, it's always a dope song. I imagine it seems like those are easy songs for you to write. Is that a fair statement?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's closer to it's closer to 2021 or my base almost a little bit.
Right. So I also like the Love Me Like You Need. I'm gonna quote some bars from that. The thing that's cool about your writing, it's kind of like poetry. Like I don't understand it all perfectly, but I have an interpretation of it, and that's part of the replay value is like
Mm-hmm.
I try and like figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So you're like titles change, moving through the motions like a tidal wave, yielding to emotion I ain't woven, but it's not the same. Not a saint. Portals to the nether when you Doctor Strange. I ain't asking for your forgiveness just to stop the pain, stop the rain. Feelings in a frenzy like the stock exchange. I just like the way you describe shit, bro. The Doctor Strange shit.
Yeah.
It's like kind of abstract too. So
Hey,
yeah,
shout out
man.
my sister too. That was my sister on Inner Peace, and
Right.
that song at the end. So she's in here. So sit out Lotus.
Yeah.
That's my little sister.
You
She's
you
killing it.
you got two female vocalists on that. They both the vocals are like
Oh yeah,
tight. You know
that's
what
her.
I'm saying?
That's her both ways. That's her both ways. So she's on both of
Oh,
those.
is it?
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Because you know sometimes you'll hear a hip hop record like over the years, and sometimes the singing they get away with some subpar notes and
Yeah.
shit, but she nailed it. You know what I'm saying? So it was great. Yeah. So yeah. I'll just see here. Yeah. So I was saying like to me you go beyond punchlines with your music. You're talking your shit. You're telling stories. You're describing what you're seeing around you. It's not about the punchline. It's like the ongoing message and dialogue that you have. You know what I mean with the
Mm-hmm.
listener. And again, to me, that's real poetry. I take it as somewhere between a Nas and Common. Those are my point of references, particularly on this album. Um, and I think because you approach your music like that, again, I have to figure out your lyrics a bit every time I'm listening. The wordplay is dope. I don't understand everything line for line, but I'm like I find myself like catching more with every listen. Um, Yeah, and I told you on my first couple listens that Signs in Casanova. Oh, pardon me. Just dropped my earbud. That
Right.
Signs in Casanova, I wasn't feeling that much, but then I kept playing it and it grew on me, and it reminded me like when you'd buy a record back in the day, you were forced to listen to it and some of the music would grow on you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if people listen to music like that today, but those tunes grew on me as well, which is kind of cool. Yeah, man. I don't know if you have any comment, but
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Now I remember you saying that those two. Well, that was the before it came out. Listen.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but I also know sometimes some of the sounds can be changed in the slightest margin once songs hit platforms, just as they process. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with it, but also, sometimes that happens too, just change in reception or flavor.
Right on. So bear with me here, man. I haven't done an interview in like 3 weeks. I'm just going through my notes
Oh yeah,
here.
I got
Um,
you. Donnie was good, man.
yeah, let's shout everyone out. Little Johnny, Mondo, Miami, me again. I think that's your new favorite fan. Lotus Fairy, that's your sister, right?
Oh yeah.
Thank you for joining. Heaven's Tank. So who handled the sequencing? Did you have any hand in that, Golden Arms, or was that all Griot?
No,
Or
Griot sent me the sequencing, and then I listened to it and how he had formatted it, and I thought it was perfect, man. I thought the way like the way the album plays out is really well structured, and I don't know if I would have changed anything. Like I'll be thinking about that too, man. Like would I have adjusted any of the tracks and formatted it differently? But I think the way he let it flow out was really well done.
yeah, it's got a couple sharp turns and like sound that you could probably reconfigure it a few different ways, but
Right.
it's dope the way you settled on it. I'd say for sure, man. Um, so listen, I just wanted to congratulate you guys. Thank you for putting out great music. Is there going to be any digitals to buy, or can I like, I don't know, cash app you or just to support since I played the joint a bunch of times already?
Oh, so I'm looking into the digital game right now. I know I never asked my guy to do a back cover, which is mainly my fault. So I'll have to formulate a back cover, and once I do that, I know there's one person that already confirmed that they'd press the CDs if I wanted to do it,
Nice.
and I would really want to try for the vinyls because I want my dude's art, my homie Nate. I want his art to be like in
Yeah,
everybody's house and be on people's walls and shit like that.
makes sense. I imagine some videos on the way. I get you don't have to talk too much about it if you don't want to, but I'm looking forward to the next visual. Definitely want to repost it on my platform
Oh
and
yeah,
get the
yeah,
word out on the Masterpiece album.
yeah. My guy, Isaiah shot it right now. That's who's doing all my videos right now. He's located in Rochester, so it's kind of a while from me. It's like an hour south of Canada. So
Right.
so when he's here, we always do at least one video. Whenever we connect, it's always at least one. I know he has a few on there. He still wants to shoot. He wants to do no takebacks. I think he wants to do Almighty Pull. Um, and a couple other ones I know he wants to shoot. But we'll just go, piece by piece with that.
So looking forward to it. So I'm going to try something new. Anyone in attendance, do you have any questions for Griot or Golden Arms? Anyone? Or did we cover it all?
Oh, so you've been spending the
Okay,
three
so
weeks sharpening the format.
yeah, exactly. You got to tweak it. You know what I'm saying? So dope. Listen, enjoying the project. I can't wait till your next drop already. To be honest, and see where you take it. Salute Golden Arms on a great project. A huge step for you, I would say. You know what I mean? We got to celebrate the wins. So congratulations, and thank you everyone for tuning in. Have a great night.
Appreciate it.
Peace.